All right, everybody. I'm so happy for this. I am so happy to be here. This, as you may or may not know, is the homecoming. The homecoming of my favorite little buddy. The homecoming. The founding godfather, the progenitor god, to make it Fire Emblem appropriate, of the gazebo. Something I live my life by so fervently, it is now enshrined on the Temple of CJ, vis-a-vis, I tattooed it onto my leg. He is the, I used to call him the Terror of Toronto as a rib. He is obviously not from Toronto, because I like him. So, with all of that having been said, my friend and yours, Quo, welcome back to SDAT.
Hello. Thanks for having me. If you heard double audio at some point, you did not.
That's very fair, very fair. Quo, what are we doing today?
We're playing Fire Emblem Engage, so it's the most recent Fire Emblem game. Pretty cool. IMO at least. First of all, what won the bid war?
Female won the bid war.
Excellent.
Because girls can do anything
better.
that guys can do.
Yeah.
It's actually better. Female Illyr is what you used in the speedrun originally, because she has a better hit rate than male Illyr.
Do we have a name that we want?
I don't know, name her SDAT.
Geach.
I'm gonna name it SDAT, because I can actually spell that.
Okay.
Okay.
That's Geach. That's our old smellhound. Sorry, go ahead.
So we're playing on normal, we're playing on classic, we're playing on fixed. We'll explain all of these later, and time starts on 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, as Grace said, we're using female Illyr, which is better for one chapter, which we'll get to when we get to it. But for the rest, we just have a bit of settings to change to actually make the game run faster and not have a bunch of animations. And then we'll get started.
Yep. So, while we're in the prologue, so we play on normal, fixed, and classic. Classic's actually technically slower for this game, but it's preferred for like certain things, so it's kind of just a vibe check on which one you can pick. Normal is the fastest version of the game. Surprise, surprise. And with the main reason we pick fixed is fixed mode is actually fixed level ups. So it fixes the stats that you are going to get when you level up and guarantees you a specific growth rates in every single level up. So it makes it easier for us to know exactly how strong our characters are going to be and where they're going to be that strong. Unlike other Fire Emblem titles where that was never fixed and it was always random. So you'd be resetting halfway through to get what you wanted.
Yeah, pretty much. So a big thing with that, obviously, is you're getting enough like attack and speed to do damage, but also, you know, specific like defensive benchmarks where if you have too high defense, sometimes the AI will act differently, for example, or if you have too low defense, you'll just die, which, you know, we don't want. So the first level is sort of fixed in like its scripting, so you need to basically just wait 3 turns until this guy catches up to the 2 green units on top. And then we'll explain engaging a bit, but the long story short is whenever you engage with a ring, which we'll get to in a bit, you get more stats and also you get special weapons. So we're just going to engage and equip our special weapon, which is the rapier, and wait in this bush and everything else dies. So as far as engaging goes, you can engage with special rings. So right now we have the Marth ring. It's all like lords from past Fire Emblem games, and we'll see 12 of them throughout the run. Is there 12 of them?
Yep.
So Marth gives you an attack called Lodestar Rush, which makes you hit 9 times, which we'll see a bunch. And also a couple of other important things. So he has a skill as well, so an engage skill. Whenever you're engaged with a ring, you get an extra skill, and that skill heals you a bit of health each time you attack. Which we'll see used in the next 2 chapters.
Yeah. And then chapter 2 is okay. Yeah. The first couple chapters of this game are a little slow. They kind of just do what they do. This chapter introduces a one of the main mechanics of the game called break, which is kind of
Here
strange.
goes.
Or no, break is next chapter.
Yeah, that's
I
next
keep
chapter.
mixing. I mix up 2 and 3.
It's all good.
3, yeah, 2 is clan baiting. The other 3.
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna set up Vander
You cold?
here, and then Clan
For
is
the
actually gonna
Divine
move out,
Dragon.
and that's gonna bait Lumera into going to the right side so that we'll be able to actually hit her. You saw a few things earlier, which was me using auto battle.
manage.
That's auto battle in this game is very unreliable, so we're not gonna use it that much. But we'll use it here and there whenever we can save time, just because it saves like moving the characters around and all that.
Yep.
That was chapter 2. Okay, so chapter 3 is top 2 worst chapters in the game, mostly because we're sort of, we don't have a lot of stuff yet. Later we'll have a lot of stuff, and you'll see what I mean by stuff. But right now we don't have a lot of stuff. We have the Marth Ring, we have Alear, we have Vander, and we have 2 units that we can't really use in Clan and Fram. And specifically why this chapter is bad is, so in this game they sort of revamped the weapon triangle. So if you don't know what it is, weapons have specific strengths against other weapons and weaknesses against other ones. So swords beat axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords. And there's a lance fire that can hit us, and if he hits us, we can't counterattack on the next hit. So you'll see
Yes,
if there's
here.
1 guy alive at the start of the next turn, or if there's 3, is whether or not he hit us. So he did hit us, which is great. So we're on life support for this chapter now.
Speaking of life support, can I jump in with a quick donation?
Absolutely.
We have $25 from Mama CJ, the one and only Quo. Happy homecoming. And we have $25 from Cheese Whiz. Welcome back,
I'll do my
Quo.
best.
Vote Cheese Whiz. So yeah, the official burger poll of SDAT, the official Speed Dogs burger. Cheese Whiz is in the lead, $25 to nothing. If you would actually like to make this at home and don't want to vomit, you might consider picking a real cheese substance. So we'll turn it back over to you two. Get those donations in. We're so close to 1,700. Let's do it.
I'm big on marble or Swiss or something. I don't know about cheese whiz in a burger.
Cheese whiz is gross. Anyway, here you go, Quo. I suck at explaining this one, so this is
Oh
all
yeah,
you,
no,
somebody.
this one takes a bit of finesse. But yeah, last chapter, so I got unlucky first turn, and then I got lucky the rest of it, so we're fine. We are chilling, as the kids say. So one thing that I did not mention earlier is that I'm actually on a earlier patch of the game. I'm on version 1.3, and the reason is because Nintendo hates everyone, and they actually patched out a glitch that was used a couple times. But since I'm on an older patch, it doesn't affect me, which is great. But if you want to learn the game, there's a separate route that does not use the glitch. So, it's still accessible, but it is a bit slower.
Which, unfortunately, is the route that I know, because before I started learning this game, I patched my Switch, and I don't feel like factory resetting my Switch.
Yeah. These things really do happen. Alright, once we're out of the loading screens, though, I can actually explain what's going on. So we're going to use Clan, which normally you don't use. But we're using Clan because he's a magic unit, and the boss is a armor unit, and the boss has very low resistance. So Clan's going to go solo the boss. And the way he's going to do that is with the Sigurd Ring. So the Sigurd Ring, the main gimmick of it is that it gives you more movement.
Yep.
I'll just set up Alear. So we're going to set up Alear just to get a few extra kills because we need to hit specific level benchmarks later in the run.
Okay.
So
I
this is
am
what the
ready to
Sigurd Ring
serve.
does. So first of all, you just natively get +1 move. And then if you engage with Sigurd, you get +5 move on top of that, right? So you can move pretty far. And Clan needs to get all the way over here, which is a bit too far. But whenever you engage and unengage, you can see the movement range grow. But if I go like over here and I unengage, it brings me back to where I actually engage. So if I'm above Saline, it'll bring me back to above Saline, right? So we're sort of going to abuse that. We're going to engage right here. We're going to go to this corner, and we're going to draw an arrow path all the way to this guy, right? So when I unengage, I go back to the original position, but the arrow path still stays from if it was in the bottom left. And if I do that, Clan just runs across the map all the way to the end. And now he can fight the boss.
And there he goes.
There he goes.
Yeah. There he goes. So that's movement glitch.
I can
It
fight.
sure is. That is the glitch that they
It
patched
sure
out,
is.
unfortunately. So, like I said, when I learned the run and when I was working on it, I have my game patched to current patch, so I have to use the version of the run that does not use that. So, it makes no sense to me, but it's sure.
It sure is a thing.
It sure is a thing. We definitely use that to just zip across half the maps in this game and just whack the boss upside the head. It is definitely how that goes.
So because of reasons we'll get into later, we actually lose the Sigurd ring. So we only use that glitch 4 times in the run.
Yep.
And we could use it a few more. It's actually just slower to set up generally. Oops.
Sigurd.
But one of the maps, yeah, we're not going to see that again until the next chapter. Yeah, we won't explain that one again, don't worry. Even though we're going to get to like 45 minutes from now and just someone's going to show up and be like, what is going on?
Hey, can you explain that trick again that you just explained?
No. My estimate is
Damn.
not that, it's not that
Not
generous.
that generous.
I'm trying to keep you guys on schedule, okay?
Yeah, the movement
Doing the
glitch
Lord's
saves.
work.
Yeah, the movement glitch saves a decent amount of time. I think it's like a 10-minute difference between.
No, less than that. Like
Less than that. Yeah, it's like
3,
5. It's like,
2.
oh really? I thought it was
Yeah.
at like 5. I
No.
guess it's gotten better since last
Yeah,
time we played.
yeah. There's been a lot of work on the other routes. Zoop.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the movement glitch again. We do this to go through a door, so that we don't actually have to break the door. Because that would just be rude.
I'm all set.
It would also take a lot of time because that door has a lot of health.
That too, yes. Takes like 3 people to break it. Alright, so we also got the Celica ring, and one of the abilities of the Celica ring is called Warp Ragnarok, where you can warp and use the move Ragnarok, which just really helps at getting your units wherever you want them to be. So Saline had it in this case. Where's the boss? There you are. Okay. So we're going to override the boss with a sword. And actually, this is going to work. Yeah, it'll be fine. Now that breaks the boss, and what that happens is that Saline can attack him without getting counterattack. She actually did dodge the first time, but that guy does a lot of damage, so she actually does have about a 25% chance to die if you don't break the boss. But yeah, Saline just games there.
Saline, powerful.
Yeah, we're full.
She was actually my strongest unit in my casual run.
Yeah, I can see it. She's really strong.
Yeah, I put Celica on her and I just had her literally go across the map and blast motherfucker.
Brr.
When?
Marth.
Alright, so next chapter introduces a fan favorite, which is Yunaka.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool, but she also gets outclassed like 6 chapters later when you get someone with like a boatload of stats, but we don't need to worry about that. So this chapter, Yunaka needs to survive, and we need to kill the boss. And that's really it. And that's what we'll do. So since all of our other units are pretty squishy, we'll just, deselect them all and not deal with anyone else.
Yep.
So here we auto battle. That makes Alir engage and use her engage attack on the enemy, which is just, saves us a bit of time. Move Yunaka. So the boss is just completely left of us.
Yanaka here.
And again, normally you would go through the entire, bottom part with the rest of your units and do all that stuff, but in our case, we won't.
Here in
So
Savannah.
Yunaka has the Micaiah ring. We're going to see that one a lot. There are 2 applications of it. First of all, it has Great Sacrifice, which is it heals all your units by a certain amount, and the sacrifice part is that it'll bring you down to... Why are you there? That is not good. Alright, that's never happened to me before, but there's probably a good reason why. Oh, okay, she wanted to heal. Okay, I see why, No, she should be in this bush. But yeah, so it has Great Sacrifice. It also has an ability called Augment, I think it is, which we'll talk about a bit later.
Yep. So the other reason we like get rid of everybody is so that Alir gets as much EXP as possible in this one.
Pretty much, yeah. So everyone just focuses Alir.
All right.
So again, I said if Yunaka dies, we'll lose the chapter, and we're gonna leave her there at 1 health. But because of a other mechanic, which is backup units that can like add extra attacks basically onto other characters that whoops, that's also not supposed to happen. Alright. Let's not do that. So because of other mechanics, they're actually not gonna focus Yunaka. Okay, we'll see if this makes a difference. Yeah, it can happen either if the boss crits or if you just get murked by everything. No? Alright. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna normal attack. Alright, we're good. So Time Crystal is really cool because it lets you do things like that without just having to reset the entire run. Whenever you go back in time, the RNG seed is still the exact same. Oops, we need to throw out this. So if I go attack an enemy, I miss, I rewind time, attack the same enemy, I'm gonna miss again. So you need to do something different to have a different result. And you just need to play around with that until you get something that works, and thankfully normal mode is very generous with Time Crystal usage.
Yep.
Sigurd.
I am ready. Lady Micaiah.
Lady Celica.
Alright, so we used Clan a few chapters ago, now we'll use Fram, who is Clan's twin. So if you like the starting units...
AP does.
I hope no one here is a Clan fan. No, a Fram fan. Oh, that's hard to say.
Clan, Fram, and Glan.
Fram and Clan? And Glan?
Glan. Glan's in
Lan's
chat.
cat is named Lulu.
Well, it just doesn't follow the whole rhyming thing.
Lulu doesn't.
I'm helping. Also, Micaiah is like the worst in Radiant Dawn.
Excuse you.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
she's not.
She's fucking terrible in Radiant Dawn. I don't care what you say.
She's
I
She's not a
played
good
that
unit in
game.
Radiant Dawn.
She's not a good unit, but she's a great character, so you can suck my left nut.
Next to, she makes Soth look like God.
The Soth was good.
So it
Yeah,
was...
in Radiant Dawn.
Yeah.
If you import Soth from your Soth from Path of Radiance,
That's
he's
true.
worse.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he's really good in Radiant Dawn.
Here goes.
So to say, hang on. No, you're not coming for Soth like that. Chill.
I'm just saying, I haven't played a lot of Fire Emblem. I played that one. Mickey was a liability.
As you wish.
Alright, so Fram basically just aggroed the boss. So instead of us going to the boss goes to us. Lapis dying there, doesn't matter. Which is really nice, because we don't actually have to do a lot of stuff now. And we're going to override for some stats. Or EXP, rather. We also got a new character, which is Alchrist. Alchrist can one-round this boss.
Please,
Alchrist
don't
can also
worry.
one-round the bosses of the next 2 chapters, so we're going to use him a lot. I don't know why they did that, but they sort of just did.
Yeah, Elchrist is good too. Like, I just like him.
Oh, he's a good unit in general. But also, he joins with the Steel Bow, and you have 3 maps of flying bosses.
Yeah. I just like that he's the character that they give an inferiority complex, and then his stat line
Lady
is just better
Celica.
than his brother's. That is air quotation marks better than him.
Yeah.
Alchrist.
Easy.
Duh. AP is asking. Alchrist or Etier?
Yeah, Alchrist.
Alchrist. Yeah, I know. Damn it! They're the entire fucking character arc for those two is how Alchrist feels so fucking like pathetic next to Diamond, and then Diamond's ass.
Dude, I rode Diamond through my whole playthrough. I don't know what you're talking about. I got the god tier rolls on the drop table.
Probably. Yeah, it sounds like it, because I fucking benched that bitch so fast.
Yeah. Like, Amber's better than him.
Exactly!
Knock it off.
And Amber's annoying. We don't use Amber, don't worry.
Amber's, yeah. I was gonna say, I also am I fill my fucking party with fucking mages and archers and just go anyway.
Amber. So Alir's goal here is just to get level ups. So that's why we move Alir. And then Alchris, we can use Celica's Warp Ragnarok, put him in the perfect position so that Ivy's going to go onto him. And again, he can just one-shot the bosses.
I'll manage.
Cool. This will be perfect.
Just a scratch.
And then Alchris games.
Yep. They really did say have a powerful archer and then put like 3 flying bosses in a row. Jesus
They
Christ.
really did.
Right. So we are actually coming up on the level that we need to have our the chapter where we need to have our level requirement by. So by the end of this next chapter, chapter 10. So
chapter 9.
this chapter. You're right. I'm looking at this like we're in chapter 8 right now still.
Oh, yeah, no, we just finished that. So at the end of this chapter, the one that's coming up, chapter 9.
Yeah, I was like, wait, we just did chapter 8. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
At the end of chapter 9, we have to be level 11 on Alir.
Yeah, and one important thing about chapter 8, at the end, since you save Brodia Castle, they give you a bunch of money, and we're going to go spend all that money right now.
Yep.
So we're going back to the sawmill. Now you're thinking, what is here that we could spend money on? And it's probably something that you might have missed casually. We're actually going to donate to Brodia. And the reason we do that is because whenever you roam at the end of the maps, you can get iron and steel. And if you donate to Brodia, you can get 7 times multiplier. So instead of getting like 60 iron, we get like 400. Which we're going to use. We'll see that later.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then a couple of things we need to do here. So we're going to fight Leaf to get his level 4,
I'll be your opponent.
I don't know, engage.
I am Leaf.
Long story,
Prince of
but he
Leonster.
gives us knife
hell?
proficiencies, and we're going to use that later to class change. And then we also bonded with Marth so that we can get a few skills from him, which are the avoid skills, just so we get a bit more dodgy.
Yep. So the main reason that we need to have Alir at level 11 by the end of this chapter is in the next chapter we are going to get the option of moving Alir to an advanced class. Which is... You gotta be over level 10 to do that.
Yeah. And just the extra, like, stats you get from level 11 just help a lot in the rest of the run.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to use the Makai ring again, and we're going to use a staff that probably doesn't see a lot of use, which is Rewarp. So Rewarp warps the user that uses it to whatever tile 5 tiles away. So if your mage uses Rewarp, or whatever, your sage, I guess mages can't use Rewarp. If your sage uses Rewarp, he's going to Rewarp himself. And in this case, Vander has the Makai ring, and he's going to get a Rewarp staff. And then we're also going to buy 6 tonics. But the thing with the Makai ring is that whenever you use a staff, it affects you, and it affects the square of characters around you. So when Vander uses Rewarp, he actually rewarps everyone around him, which includes Alchrist. So now Alchrist is in range of Ivy, and Alchrist can one-shot Ivy.
Anyway, that's the chapter.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, Alir needs to get to level 11, which I missed by 3 XP. Excellent. Alright, we're just going to do that again, but better. Yeah, you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we like...
There you go.
There we go.
Okay, and because of mechanics I don't want to explain, we just need to attack Ivy first because of the Key Adept.
Please,
And
don't
then
worry.
Alchrist can one-shot the boss. There you go.
Not recruiting Jade when you're standing right next to her is foul. Yeah, okay. This is a speed run. Go away.
So Jade does get auto-recruited if you never recruit her, which is right here. Right?
Jade
Right.
Pasadena?
Probably not, but maybe. Okay, well, not there. So we get 400 iron, 420 to be exact, nice. And 28 steel instead of the normal, what is it, 60 and
Yeah.
the other one?
Yeah, it's 60 and 7
Okay.
times.
Jade joins our group.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you normally get 4, but you
4.
get 28 instead.
Yeah. Yeah, you get 28 because it's 4 times
7.
4 times 7.
Math. Also, it's written on my notes as you can't read. Alright, so we're going to forge our endgame weapon.
Well, here's how the smithy works.
Yep.
Just gotta exchange, nope, some silver.
I'll be here.
Nope, oh my god. We're just flubbing everything. Okay. So basically we're going to engrave Yunaka's knife with a engraving, which just gives more stats. Then we're going to transform it into a steel dagger, and then we're going to put it to steel dagger +4, which just gives it ridiculous stats.
I'll be here.
And then Alir is going to
March.
sort of just go off. Alright, pretty sure I didn't forget anything. So since Alir is higher than level 10, she can class change to Divine Dragon, which gives a bunch of stats, and then we're immediately going to change her to the Wolf Knight, so that's thanks to the leaf. Oh my god, what is it? We attacked him in the arena, and he gave us level 4, and
Yep.
the knife proficiency to give us Wolf Knight. And I'm pretty sure I remembered everything, so we're going to leave. So Wolf Knight's really good for a number of reasons. So first of all, it's a mounted class, so it has more movement, and we'll see why more movement is good later. Second of all, it mostly uses daggers, and daggers are 1 to 2 range weapons, which means that you can counterattack most things in the game. And also, they can't really be broken. So we talked about breaking in Chapter 3, when we got broken by the Lance unit. So daggers get broken by fist-using units, or whatever it is, scrolls. And there's like 0 of them in the game. There's maybe 2. One of them is actually in this chapter. But other than that, there's like none of them. So we're never going to have to worry about getting broken. And also we can counterattack pretty much everything. So we're going to dump everyone except our 2 best units, which is Vander and Boucheron. And Boucheron's really important here because he's just standing in the right place.
Yes, here.
So that when Vander rewarps, he's going to be standing right beside this chest. And this chest
What's
has a
next?
Draco shield, which gives us more defense.
No.
And then he dies.
Goodbye, Boucheron.
Goodbye, Boucheron. He really did the most he
Here
could.
goes.
And then Vander is also going to die because we are going to dump him right here, and Alir is going to go on the other side of the door. And we're going to use the energy drop that we just got.
We'll see you, Vander.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so this is the boss that can actually hit us, and he actually did, so he did break us, and we didn't beat the mage.
Here until the end.
But yeah, that's the chapter. No, he survived. What? That's crazy. Something happened. Something
He
happened.
does not
He
like
shouldn't
you
have survived.
today.
Alright, that's fine. We survived with plenty of health.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah, you need to beat both bosses in this chapter. My first playthrough, I tried to just beat the boss and not the other boss for story reasons, but you do actually have to beat both of them.
Yep.
Tragic. Alright, so
Just want to remind everyone
Oh,
we're
go for
raising
it.
money for Save the Children,
we are.
and we're $30 away from $1,700. Let's get those donations in. We got lots of great incentives on today. Don't let Cheese Whiz be on the burger, please.
Yeah, don't let Cheese Whiz be on the burger, please.
All right, so chapter 11 is probably the easiest chapter.
All right.
If you had trouble with this chapter, it's probably because Alir was still in her base class with 4
I'll
movement,
manage.
but since we're in a Wolf Knight with also super inflated stats, we literally just walk down.
Yeah.
So we get 3 actually good characters here. We will be using all of them. Sporadically, at least.
Come and face me.
We also get 2 rings, which is the Lin ring, which we'll be using a lot, and then the Lucina ring, which we don't really use. Generally a really good ring, but not for a speed run, just because it's a very supportive base ring.
Yep.
And the only thing we need to support is Alir's quest to walk forward and kill everything.
Statistically, isn't Alir like the worst lord in one of the games?
In recent games, yeah, pretty much, but
Yeah.
I don't know, definitely not worse than Roy Fire Emblem from the hit game Super
Mm.
Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
Potato has thoughts.
Alir's not
Alir
that
is
bad.
not
Alir's
bad.
definitely worse than Thorn and Robin.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alir is definitely not the best lord ever. No.
And 3 houses, you just do whatever you want with all of your characters.
Yeah, 3 houses just goes. 3 houses exists. You pick a character in 3 houses, and that's the best character in the game. That game gives no shits. Yeah, but like Robin's fucking busted, and Corrin's really good, and like 3 houses is 3 houses. Same thing, like we make fun of Micaiah for
I
not
can
being
fight.
super great, but Micaiah was still fucking busted.
I relish a taste.
Like Ike's always broken in every game, except for when you do the actual speed run, and then you don't give a shit about Ike, and you just use Marie the whole time. I could take Maria and go Bert.
Yeah.
I have a lord in this
Maria.
game.
Space Colony Arc.
Path of
No
Radiance
mistakes.
really is just Huh? I had a lord?
Sorry, I forgot what I was doing for a sec. We're all good. So we actually use Bonet this chapter, which is legitimately one of the worst characters in the game, but he just happens to have a very strong weapon and enough stats to do one thing good.
Bonet is hysterical. I don't know what you're talking about.
I relish the taste.
Yeah. Bonet is a chef. Why don't we give this man a frying pan? He'd be the best character in the game if he had a frying pan. They really said, hey, this is the chef character, and then gave him an axe instead of a knife or a frying pan.
I think in other games you can use like a ladle as a sword.
Exactly.
That would have been useful.
Bonet is basically Hannibal.
Real. Okay, so this chapter's pretty cool. Last chapter was not cool, so we didn't talk about it, but this chapter's cool. So this is a Fog of War chapter, which means that you can't see, basically, other than a small area around your units. But we're going to try to work around that as much as possible. We did get a torch in chapter 6, I think, that we're using now. And then the other nice thing with Fog of War, or rather, nice thing with Thieves in Fog of War is that they actually get more range. So we have Zelkov here, who's going to provide a tiny bit of extra range for us. And, oops. That looks right. Yes.
Anything.
So Zelkov's gonna stand right here, and then Pandreo
Let's
has the
pray.
warp staff, and it sounds exactly like it is. You warp a unit further away. And we're
I'll
going
do
to
my
use. Oops.
Right away.
We're gonna use the warp staff a lot.
Understood.
So we have Marin here. Marin we're gonna use a bit later, and we have 2 other units here that we do not care about whatsoever. So we don't need to talk about them.
Retribution is due.
Wait, so here we're going to use the torch, just because at this point we just need extra vision just to get actually our full movement so we can reach the bosses. Alright, so Pennant dies here, that doesn't matter. Mara has a chance of surviving, which is completely inconsequential to us. The reason we don't actually try to save her is that if we ever select her, she just has a dialogue box because she's like a more special unit. So we'll see if she survives. Nope, alright, well, that was short-lived.
Our foes are strong.
So there are two bosses here, and we need to beat both of them. None of them provide that much of a threat. Oh, that's crazy. Alright. That's the chapter.
Monk. I can't get over Boone being Hannibal. Alright, anyway, yeah.
Yeah. That was chapter 13.
I was gonna say 14 is just more of the same, where we send... Excuse me, I yawned. We send Ivy on a side quest, and Alir, does the same thing again, where Alir just walks through the chapter and fucking kills everything.
My turn.
Lind.
Yeah, pretty much. So the next chapter has the boots item in a chest, so Ivy's gonna go get that. Ivy's gonna hold on to the Ike ring, just so she can survive. Ike just makes her very bulky. It just cuts the amount of damage you take by half. And there's a couple of archers that would have super effective damage on her. So Ike ring just helps her survivability a lot. We're also going to see the Ling ring being used. So Ling has an ability called Astrostorm, which you can hit someone with a bow 10 spots away from you. But since Zelkov is a covert unit, that 10 becomes 20. So he can literally just hit the boss from the start of the map. Oops. Only once, obviously, because it is a special engage attack. We just need to give Ivy some stuff. Yeah, we're going to see Zelkov just snipe the boss from the start, and then that's going to aggro the boss to come and attack us, and that just, again, speeds everything up. The more we can make the enemies do, the better it is for us.
Yes.
Yeah, so he just has enough range to hit the boss, and also one-shots her, which is, you know, just the bonus.
No mistakes. Here goes.
Alright, so there's actually 4 bosses in this chapter. There's Hortensia, who sort of has, like, a mind control thing going on. But, you know, she's not supposed to be evil, quote-unquote. And then there's 3 of the... what are they called? The 4-somethings. 4 winds, no.
Yeah, no, it's like, I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, the four guys.
The four bad guys.
The 4 bad guys.
The band.
Hounds.
The
Thank you.
band. Yes.
They're the 4 hounds, yeah.
Yeah, that's it, alright. So 3 of them are here, Gris is not here. And the only thing is that Zepia, who we just hit last turn, has the Thunder Tome, which is 3 range, which we cannot counterattack.
I will endure.
And the rest of them just die in enemy phase. Enduro Gaming. Alright, we have 1 health. As planned.
Stay strong.
And that's the chapter. The Cyberpunk hair? Wait, which one? A lot of their hairs have neon. Oh, yes, that's true. What AP said. Alright, so Hortensia joins us. She's pretty good because whatever staves she uses has an extra range. So when we use, like, warp or rewarp, she has 6 move instead of 5. Or rather, 6 range instead of 5. So we'll be using her later.
Ike.
Oops. Alright, so Alir gets Ike. So Ike gives a couple of things. So again, we spoke about the extra bulk that he gives. He also destroys walls in one hit, no matter what, which I forget if it's relevant here or not. We do destroy a wall. But let's just pretend that it is to make it sound more special. And then he also has the Hammer and Great Ether, which is his engage attack, which we'll talk about next chapter, because we will be using it.
I was gonna say, this is Cetl. I think we do destroy our wall.
Yeah, we do. I don't know if the wall is like weak enough that Alir would have murked it anyways. But
that's
either
true.
case, we'll just pretend.
Yeah.
Oh wait, also there's a bunch of doors. Alright, oh my god, what do we need? We need this. We need the boots. Okay, sorry, I had to actually think for a sec. So we just loaded up Hortensia with a bunch of stuff, and oops, not that. Because she'll be basically our main staff unit from here on out. But we'll see that in a few chapters.
All is set.
Alright, so Zelkov can Astral Storm once again. And that helps us because Alir has enough movement to get to Cetl now. Talk to Cetl. So Cetl's our dancer, which means that he can refresh a unit. So if a unit doesn't attack, Cetl can dance them. That unit can do a second attack or a second movement or whatever. We're gonna skip it when we can, just because if we get 1 crit out of 2 later in the game, Cetl actually skips a level up, and that just saves animation time. So the rest of this is just Alir going around and breaking things. Pandora is going to be used. So the actual objective of this map is for Cetl to escape. So just keep that in mind as Alir makes her way through the entire thing and Cetl doesn't really move.
Warp staffs go, Bert.
Bert.
The choice is yours.
Really is. Oh my god, no. You mash A too fast, you just lose 3 seconds. Okay, so pretty much the last turn. Before last turn, rather. So Alir's gonna break this door, and then Pandreo's gonna warp Cetl into this room with all the enemies. So Cetl has the cornering, which means that he can use the Ice Dragon Vein just because he is a specific unit type. So we're actually going to block off the path in front of us. Enemies can still attack us from the side, but that doesn't matter that much because the Ice Veins made them leave a path open for us to escape. And that was the chapter. Ooh, excuse me. There was a vote? I have no idea. I was not made aware of a vote. Is this Marth? We don't have Marth right now. Marth will be seen later. We also saw Marth earlier, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the start of the Alir just does everything gauntlet.
Yeah.
Because at this point, the rest of our characters are too low level, so
Yeah.
we just kind of abandon them in Alir games.
Yeah,
Alir
we'll
just does
use
whatever Alir wants.
we'll use a few units later, but they're all units that we're getting later. Except Pendra, actually. Pendra we'll use. But
Yeah, Pandrea and Hortensia stick around, but that's just because they have abilities.
oh my god. Okay. Super brain fart.
Give me a target.
Alright, so Hortensia is also a staff unit, so we're actually going to do a double warp here. Alir goes here, and then Alir goes here. So the whole gimmick of this map is there is the high tide and low tide, and anyone that's not a flying unit just can't really move. So we just want to warp Alir past that, and then she can actually, you know, move towards the bosses.
I can fight.
Our foes are strong.
Alright, so we're actually going to equip Ike's hammer here. Mostly because it has effective damage against armor units, and Marnie's an armor unit, so we can just hit her with that. And then we're going to prep a Great Ether, which is just going to hit a lot of things on enemy phase, and again, Marnie gets attacked and deals with that.
Here goes.
And I will just make sure that... Did I forget something? I might have forgotten to fall back everyone. You know what? It'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. No one died. So this is actually one of the chapters where casual mode is a bit better, just because there is a small chance that Hortensia dies, and we really need her for later. But that was not the case. Alright, so if you've been keeping track, which I don't blame you if you haven't been, we've collected 6 rings so far, and the enemies have 6 rings, so this is like the big part of the story where it's like both sides have 6 rings, and there's a big battle in chapter 17, and it's a really cool battle because the goal of the chapter is to beat all the bosses, and there are 6 of them, which is a lot. Unfortunately, everyone sucks, so it's just going to be another Alir solo map. We actually used to think that like you had to do a bunch of intricate stuff with like other units and like a bunch of engage rings, but then we're like, yeah, Alir just is okay. There's a couple of scary parts because both Vale and Zephyia have effective damage against you, and if they use their engage attacks on you, they will still kill you even if you're at level 20. But we have ways of getting around that, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Here goes.
Oops. This map also has great music.
Yeah, it does. So yeah, we just kind of walk in a circle and kill the bosses.
Pretty much. So Gris starts in the top right, but he's aggroed onto you from the start. So he's just walking towards us slowly, and we just sort of go through everyone else. Okay, so the important thing here is that Zephyia is here, and we're going to be just at the edge of her range. And the reason for that is that the enemies will only use their engage attack on the first attack that they try to attack you. But engage attacks can only be done at one range. Also, I should have killed there, but it shouldn't be that big a deal. So engage attacks can only be done at one range. So if we're out of her range, but in the range of her using her 2-range weapon, she'll use her 2-range weapon and then just completely forget about her engage attack and never attack us with override.
Here until the end.
Which is really good because it would have killed us in one shot. Now we're actually going to do the same thing with Vale later. Because Vale has the Marth Emblem wearing, and Vale has effective damage against dragons, which we are.
Right.
So we're going to stay out of her range, but we're rather out of her sword range, but inside the range of her magic attack, so that she uses her tome instead of her engage attack, and doesn't kill us in one shot. And that was a big component as to why we can solo this with Alir instead of using a bunch of characters.
Yep.
There you go.
Watching this speedrun is like listening to We Didn't Start the Fire of a game that you haven't played in a while, because I'm like, oh yeah, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is what happens. This is what happens. Right. It's fun. Yeah. Get the fish hooks out of your pocket, people. Come on. Come on. 1670. Who's gonna step up? Hang on. Don't make me blow it.
Together. I am ready.
Why do you have a replica engaged ring, Potato?
I wonder if he wears it around his neck like Frodo.
Alright, so this map is actually cool. So the boss has a lot of health. And if the boss has a lot of health, you need to do a lot of damage. So we sort of have a lot of different ways to boost our damage. So we're going to use a tonic, which gives us +2. We gave Goldmary the Byleth ring, so the Byleth ring can dance us, and also the Byleth ring gives us 4 attack stats because Goldmary is a backup unit. And then Alir has the Sigurd ring, and Sigurd has momentum, which gives you +1 damage for every tile that you move. And with all that, you do pretty much enough damage to one around the boss on the first turn. And then on the second turn, oops, one sec, we'll just show it off. So you do 31 plus 10, so 41. So on the second turn, technically we do 62 damage, but since we attack the boss with a knife, the boss gets poisoned and takes an extra hit of damage for each time it gets attacked, which means that we do exactly enough damage to one around the boss. That chapter is very fast, but there's actually a lot that goes into it in the back end, which is pretty cool. Oops. Alright, so chapter 19, one with all like the muck around and you need to beat Mavier and Marnie. So Mavier is really annoying because he's going to oh my god, I forget. So let me do this and then I can forget which staff he uses again. Yeah, I can't remember. Basically, he will sort of summon enemies behind him and bring them a lot closer towards him. Not restore. Oh my god, it's a whole thing. But we're going to use Zelkov and aggro Marnie, and then that just skips basically all of that. I need to find out because this is gonna drive me nuts. The rescue staff. There you go. Okay.
There we go.
So normally he's supposed to use the rescue staff, but since we're aggroing Marnie, he's not going to use the rescue staff, which is nice for us.
It was foretold.
Alright, we also talked to Saphir to recruit her. Oops. Yet.
I hear you.
And big reason for that is, like, she is super big on rushing into enemies and dying. So she's actually just going to stand there for the rest of the map and not do anything. But we will use her later, which is why we want her not to die. And also sometimes she'll just, like, move into weird places and just mess up the enemy AI and they'll do different things and you just really don't want that, so... Why Saphir is being used. She's also really strong for the level she's at. Can use you attack. Alright, so Kagetsu was given the Corn Ring, and that's a very supportive ring. So first of all, it can attack a row of 4. So it actually can just break both of the first health bars of the enemies, which is nice. And also it has an ability called Dreadful Aura, and what that does is that it reduces the avoid by 30. Not important here, but it will be important in 2 or 3 chapters from now. We'll get to it.
I'll never yield.
There you go.
bonked.
Absolutely bonked. Alright, so now we get the Roy Ring back. And the Roy Ring is nice because if it's given to a cavalry unit, it gives you +1 move. And Byleth happens to be a cavalry unit.
And because it increases your move when you engage. Guess what we can do again?
Roy!
I'm with you.
Sigurd!
What can you do again?
Great question, CJ.
A great question, CJ. What are we allowed to do again, Quo?
So if you haven't been here since about the 10-minute mark of the game, there's a glitch in this game that lets us, move a lot further than we should. And if that's hard to visualize, you will see it in just a second. I'm not going to go through it again, but basically you do funny things with the map and you just move.
Yeah, basically if you have a ring that allows you to extend your movement range when you engage, and you disengage at a certain time with a certain arrow on the map or whatever, it'll just slingshot you across the map.
Yeah.
That's the short version that I can explain, because I don't...
That was pretty much it.
Yeah. So there are two rings in the game that can technically do it. There is Sigurd and there is Roy. Sigurd is better, but Roy is also capable, so...
Let's hear it.
Every time that you say Sigurd, I think you're saying something way worse.
What?
CJ, just go back to bed.
Let's pray.
Alright, so Gris has 3 health bars, which means that we need to attack him 3 times. But he also has the Celica ring right now, and Celica has a funny little ability called Echo, which means that he gets to attack twice. But for us, what that does is that we get to counterattack twice. So even though he has 2 health bars left, we're gonna... That was the movement glitch, by the way, in case you can catch that, when we just walked across the map. He's gonna die on enemy phase, even though he has 2 health bars left. And that shouldn't happen, but in this super specific circumstance, it does happen.
Yeah. There he goes. Yeah, so we whack him with Saphir at the beginning, so he teleports back to the boss thing, and then we just have Alir go up there and just murk him.
Yeah.
But since he attacks twice, we get to attack him twice. Because Echo.
Because
It's great.
Echo. Alright, so this next chapter is pretty easy, but this is like a combo chapter, so chapter 21 and 22 happen back to back. And chapter 22 is very involved, so we're just going to have to select our right group of vagabonds to do this chapter.
Yeah.
But so at this point in time, we have the Micaiah ring, we have, Seedle, our dancer, we have the Byleth ring, which is another dancer. We have a lot of rings and a lot of stuff. I said earlier that we were going to have a lot of stuff, and this is the point where we have a lot of stuff. Okay? And you will see the implications of that once we get into this map. Oh my god, one sec. Boom, boom. Yes. Is not right. What am I forgetting? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that is going to have disastrous implications later in the run, but that's fine. Okay, so Hortensia has the Micaiah ring. The Micaiah ring with rewarp lets us go really far, sort of a group of 5. Seedle can dance, so he can refresh a unit. And in this case, if he refreshes Hortensia, he can rewarp again, so we're in front of the boss now. The boss is standing on a tile that gives her extra void, but with Kagetsu, he has the ability to give her less void, so she's sort of neutral on the void. It also does chip damage, which we need right now. And then Alir can hit the first health bar. Then we have the Byleth ring. Oops, the Byleth ring on Gold Mary, which gives her +4, which we actually need right now to break the second health bar. And Gold Mary also happens to refresh Seedle at the same time, who's our dancer, who can go and refresh Alir. And there you go. That's chapter 21 in one turn. So that's the amount of stuff that we have, basically. Now, for story reasons, we lose all our rings in the next chapter, so we cannot do that again. I hope you enjoyed that while it lasted.
Yeah.
We also die. Also, there's like 45 seconds of black screens, but that's, Fire Emblem gauge.
Yeah, welcome to go to the like main story portion. We're skipping all of the story of the entire game right here.
If you're sad that you're missing the story, don't be. It's not that good.
The story's not that bad that you would be
It's
like, it's
awful.
better. It's not that bad.
You should listen to a podcast instead.
Jesus.
Like, after a certain point, it's just.
You should listen to the film is Okie Dokie, coming soon to wherever you get your favorite podcast.
Damn, we are corrupted SDAT right now, by the way. It's not a joke. It's actually like the title of you. Yeah,
All right.
we're corrupted. That's not right. Oh no. So remember when I said that that would have dire implications later in the run? Because this is the part of the run where it has dire implications because people are not where they're supposed to be. And that's going to be a problem until the next chapter. So we're going to be okay.
It doesn't sound like we're going to be okay.
We'll be okay. We just need to move people around and I need to make sure that everything looks right, which it sort of does. We're going to... No, it doesn't. Oh. Because you need to be here and... Oh my god, no. Okay, you're here. You're here, but that part I don't think matters. It'll be okay.
Here goes.
People need to be in the right spots, or else I
Where
get worried.
to?
Oops. Okay, so we got Veil. We also got Mob Deer last chapter and Veil this chapter. And they're both going to be useful. Veil specifically for a couple of reasons. And then Mavier just has, decent stats for this part of the game.
Count on me.
And since no one else has really been leveled,
Right away.
we're gonna use them. So one important thing with Veil is that we will be working on her support rank with Alir. So we just attacked a bunch of times beside Alir specifically to grind that support rank. Nice crit. And we will see why that is going to be used later.
A slight injury.
That's... Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna... You know what? We're gonna go back one more. Okay, we're gonna go back one more. Alright, for real this time.
For real this time.
It's just... Things move. Yeah, because... So, one bad thing with Mavier is that he does not have... Super... Nice crit again. Super accurate crit, moves. He's normally like 80% on everything, which is like good enough. Was I supposed to move? Yeah, I was supposed to move Ivy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ivy?
I hear you.
Does that? Good. Okay, we're back on track. This is like the one map that I don't want to be like rattled for because spaghetti's gonna happen, and that's exactly what happened. But it's all right.
Yeah. So basically, for this chapter to go the way it needs to go, Alir has to move throughout the entire map, and as Alir gets close to these little circles on the ground, the rings will start to appear, which allows our allies to go over and talk to them to pick them up. But if Alir doesn't get close to it, then it won't activate, and we gotta wait for Alir anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Specifically, you need to be within 3 tiles of the rings. Oops. You don't need to be right beside them.
You're fine. Really.
So Alir's gonna get out of Skidoodle across the map.
Pretty much. This is actually like the reason we use Alir. So Alir is not that good that we can.
Yes.
Like there are better units to use basically, but because of this map, we actually end up using Alir. Oops. Okay, you go here. I feel like I'm forgetting something. We're gonna get to like 3 turns from now, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I forgot that.
Our foes are strong.
Alright, so minor cool thing here, because of Mavier's personal skill, we can actually put him here at super low health, and he is going to be okay.
Count on me.
So his personal skill gives him +2 defense, I think. Or is it +2 res? +2 of something. And he takes 0 damage. Yeah, +2 defense, yes. And he takes 0 damage from the enemies with daggers, which means that he will not get poisoned, and we can just have everyone else fall back, and he's just not going to take any damage. Okay. Gonna heal up. So this map specifically ends when you have all the rings and the enemy's been routed. It only tells you that second part after you get all the rings. So that's pretty much what we're doing. And there you go. So all the enemies are dead. And the good thing that we do this in specifically this amount of turn, which I think it's 7, is that the next turn, there are reinforcements that appear. If anything goes wrong this chapter, it just ends up taking way longer because you need to go around and killing reinforcements, and Alira's just in a really bad position. Yeah, that's a very involved chapter, so it went okay.
Yep. So anyway, a bunch of more cutscenes where some wild stuff happens. We may or may not die.
For a second time.
For a second time.
We get all our rings back, which is great, because now we can do this giant menu.
Roy,
Ready!
Micaiah, of course.
That's not right. Oh no. Everything's ruined. Okay. We're gonna do this manually. This should not be that ruined.
Micaiah, I can do this.
Old Mary doesn't need anything. Okay. Alright. I think it'll be okay now.
We go together.
No, it's not okay. Alright, we're doing this manually.
Who died that screwed you over this much?
No one. I just deselected a character at the wrong place.
Smart! Let's go!
Oh, I see.
Alright, I think we're good
Lady
now.
Celica!
Turns auto good.
Leave it to me.
Okay.
Sir Byleth.
I'm just gonna double check that's right. So, Alir has Roy, Hortensia has Micaiah, Saphir has Marth, Javier has Sigurd. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, you gotta follow your stuff.
Yeah.
That's right, everybody. Follow your dreams.
Just like you should follow
Follow your dreams.
twitter.com/PokemonSnapBot.
Yeah, also just like you should donate to save the children.
You should donate to save the children. So we're actually going to support here with Vale. Vale and SDAT. Just a couple. And for story reasons, we sort of became an Emblem ring. It's really complicated. We're going to use that later, but don't worry about it story-wise.
Yeah,
go
abuse
for
your
it,
own
Sheila.
powers.
Okay, so we're going to do a funny little menu here.
The two people that couldn't answer that question answered that question. I think that's really funny. Yes, you can do it.
Where is Cedal? There you are. Okay.
Did you locate him finally?
Yes. Okay. Boom.
Cedal is the best
boom,
character in this game, by the way, and no one can convince me otherwise.
Boom. Okay. So last time we were using movement glitch, I think. Yeah.
My best.
That's the last one. Because the
Yeah.
rest of it is Hortensia going warp, warp, warpity warp.
Warp, warp, warp. Right, that's right. So we're just gonna walk all the way to where the bosses are, through the lava, through the fire and the flames, if you will. And now we just need to beat both the bosses, who are right in front of us. The glitchless version of this map is pretty funny because you just have Bram, who you didn't kill off earlier, and who is it? I think it's Fagato.
Yeah.
Who you just sort of use and like leave in the middle of the map, and they both die. And it's
Yeah, we do in fact kill the shit out of them.
yeah, funny. Alright, so the next two chapters are going to be pretty similar. Hortensia is going to bring us to the end, and then we are going to do some funny stuff to kill the bosses. So the bosses do have like 3 health bars, and you can't, you can't break more than 1 health bar. So once that first health bar is at 0, it stops. You stop doing damage there. I don't think we ever explained that, but that is a very important thing on why we need to have all this stuff to, do the stuff with. Specifically all the like dances and all the engage attacks and all that stuff.
Yep. But yeah, basically Hortensia is going to throw us towards the end of the level. Alir and Vale are going to do Alir and Vale things. and it's great. It's fun.
It's great. Again, as a refresher, Hortensia has the Micaiah ring and the rewarp staff, so she can warp up to 5 people at the same time. That is correct, and that looks good.
Here goes.
For story reasons, you
The
need to beat
stage is
yourself, but
mine.
like 1,000 years ago self,
Pride.
because, you know,
I can handle it.
Fire Emblem game. Yeah, it's great.
Must keep my cool.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so rewarp all the way here. See a little dance, Hortensia. Rewarp all the way here. And this is actually the map that it matters that you have female Aleer, because Marin has a specific skill that if you have 3 female units within like a couple spaces of each other, they all get a 5% boost in accuracy. And since we are female Aleer, we have Marin, Vale, and Aleer. They're all girls, and you get that accuracy boost. So it doesn't matter for Aleer because you have 100% hit here, but it matters for Vale because Vale has 86% instead of 81%, which is pretty insignificant, but if it's the only thing that changes, you know, might as well do it. Alright, last real chapter. This one is like very notoriously annoying to do. So we're gonna do the same thing we did last time. So we briefly mentioned it, but Aleer, like, quote, became an engage ring, and you can engage with like any other unit sort of thing. So we engage with Vale just because Vale's really strong, which is why we supported with Vale earlier. So first of all, you get more stats. You get a special attack, which is called Bond Blast or Dragon Blast. Depends on things. And then there's also a no preps here. Wait. What am I missing?
You're missing something.
Missing. Who am I missing? What? No, we're not missing anything. Okay.
Yes.
I just can't count. You go here.
I'll
You
do
go
my
here.
best.
Excellent. Oh wait, you're gonna get
Ready
attacked
and
if you stay
able.
here. Okay, we're fine. So Emblem. I forgot a thing. Oh my god, I am. It's tough. I'm thrown off. Okay, so Emblem Aleer has another ability called Attune. Does Ivy anything there matter? Yeah, we need Ivy. Okay, so
Yeah, you were supposed to move Ivy and you didn't.
yeah, it's all good. This is why you don't make mistakes, and things happen. So Emblem Aleer has an ability called Attune that if you kill an enemy, either with Aleer or in this case with Vale, since Vale's the one that is engaged,
The choice is yours.
you just get extra stats in like everything. So we're gonna use that as well, and we're gonna use our last rewarp to go all the way here.
I can do this.
And that's why we kill this enemy, so that Aleer gets the attuned buff.
Anything for you.
Now we're gonna refresh our group of guys. And we're gonna take care of the rest of the boss's health bars. Actually, a little funny thing here. So we need to Bond Blast, so we need to be at run range. And since Vale is blocking it, you know, we can't do it with Aleer. So we're gonna use an entire warp staff just to move Vale one tile over, just so Aleer can attack the boss. It's a good use of the warp staff.
I mean, it kills the boss faster, so kind of
It kills the boss faster. You'd have to rely on a crit otherwise, and we have a lot of stuff, but not enough stuff to be crit stacking like that.
Nope. So last chapter of the game, so we're coming up on the end here.
Wow.
If it even can count as a real chapter.
Listen.
We're gonna kill our dad.
Yeah, they just sort of start inventing things at the end. You're like in space or something.
Yeah, we don't know where we are. We don't know how we got here. All we know is we're gonna kill this guy that's in front of us, and he dies real quick.
And then he comes back, but then he dies real quick again.
And then he dies real quick.
All right, let's.
Yeah, they thought this boss was cool and gave him multiple phases, and then we just two-shot him anyway.
F1, are you?
So yeah, so there's phase 1, and then there's phase 2, which has like sub-phases. Phase 1 is really easy. But phase 2 is when things get like really serious, which we'll talk about when we get there. Actually, there's nothing to talk about in phase 1. We'll talk about phase 2. So phase 2, he's going to transform into a giant dragon. So spoilers in case you were planning on clicking away and you didn't. Oh, we're supposed to use the Scottish icon like 6 chapters ago. That's fine. So yeah, phase 2, he transforms into this giant dragon. And there's 4 like sub-bosses that are in each corner. And this is actually where the menuing thing earlier might come back to bite me. I think it's okay.
Count on me.
All right.
Oops. Oh my god. So there's 4 bosses that we want to kill to break his barrier. And we're going to have to use... Oops. No, not Dragon Ball. And we're going to have to use our other units to do that. So thankfully, they're based on bosses from past games. So the boss from Marth's game is there, for example. Like, in quotation marks, as a ring. So Marth does effective damage against that boss, and then Leaf does effective damage against his boss, and Sigurd does effective damage against his boss, etc., etc. So even though a lot of our units are not like that strong, they can still do enough damage to one cycle each of the bosses in the corners.
Time to crack skulls.
That's the Marth boss.
Mavier reporting.
Oops. Next is the Sigurd boss, and we're going to use the engage attacks, not because we need to, but because they are 100% accurate. So it just... Oh,
Where
okay.
to?
So it just ends up working out a lot better. So for example, Rosado here is like 40% accurate if you just want to attack.
I'm here.
Yeah, 44%, but the engage attack is 100%, and I'd rather not gamble. I'll lose the 3/4 of a second.
Divine One.
You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Alright, so the boss's shield is broken, and now we're going to just game with everybody. Oops. Oh my god, no. Engage plus with Veil. Go here and attack. We're going to give our super boosted up knife that we made in Chapter 10 to Veil, so that she can attack. Cetl gets to dance. Now we have a nice little triangle going so that Marin with the Byleth ring can refresh everyone. And we can use Bond Blast.
Melt this man.
Tell me what
Yep.
to do.
Help to this man. And we can use Cetl one last time. And then one last Bond Blast. And if this kills, which it will, time ends now. I probably should have gave a bit more warning, but that's Fire Emblem Engage.
Yep.
Yep.
It's
That's the end of it.
the game.
Wow, that's the game. We did just get a $5 donation for Pink Yoshi
Yo.
that said Moki Feet. So, there you go. I'm moking, I'm joking.
Oh, okay, I'm okay.
And congratulations. This was fun.
Thanks. It was a good time.
Do you have any shoutouts? Where can people go if they want to learn more about
Eaterone.com has the Discord link and the link to the guides if you're too shy to talk in the Discord. It's a pretty cool game. It has the routes both for this route and the 2.0 route without the glitches. So if you need to learn about that, that's all good. If you need any more information, you can check out twitter.com/PokemonSnapBot. It has everything you need.
Okay, good plug, good plug. Grace, do you have any plugs?
Nothing that Quo doesn't have. I mean, you can follow Quo at Quo with 3 extra O's
Good
and a
for
lowercase
you, but,
q.
you know, good job.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't
Isn't
play.
it Quo with 4 O's?
It's
3 extra
Quo
O's.
plus 3 O's. It's QUO plus 3 more.
I know, Quo. I know.
Okay. All right. Good.
I know.
I just DM'd
Choosing-
CJ.
I'm choosing to ignore it
Okay.
right now.
All right.
What happened?
All right.
Uh,
Nothing. All right. Well, thank you
Okay.
so much for this great run. Quo, welcome back. This was your homecoming.
Yeah. I will be back
Um,
next weekend.
You will be back next weekend, and you're gonna do some commentary for a run next weekend as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna take a quick pause for the cause. We're gonna pay the bills and keep the lights on, and when we get back, we'll be getting set up for our next run, which is Yoshi's Story. You don't want to miss that. Go get your coffee, go get your snacks while the Twitch ad is playing, and we will be right back.